Come on, hurry the fuck up. All right, 3, 2, 1.
Welcome back to another episode of the Let's Go Hunt podcast on the Firearms Radio Network. Tonight we have Mike Gonzalez, who doesn't need an intro, but awkward silence anyway. Dave Packard, who's got one last storm on the way. Sam Alexander, who's definitely better than you now. And storming the gates tonight, I'm Vince H. Tonight on the podcast, we have back Bodacious, dropping bombshells, the biggest, bestest, baddest Bob around, Bob from Getting Optics.
What the fuck show am I on?
Thanks for having me, guys.
Can we
Remember,
do
folks,
every intro that way? Sorry, Bob.
Spay and neuter your dogs. No, just kidding. Go ahead, guys. Welcome to the show. Welcome to NAMBLA.
I didn't know you look like Marlon Brando.
He's the baldest one here, so he's got that going for
I
him.
don't even
You guys all kind of do look
We
like
just need to
Marlon
get him in a
Brando.
sauna so he can run his hand over his head a couple times.
Awkward confession, I actually don't know who Marlon Brando is.
What the?
Like, if you told me
You've
what
never
movie he's
seen
I'm sure I
Apocalypse
have. Not for years.
I
Is that
probably
the
don't know
only-
either. Don't feel bad, Mike. Everybody on the bottom of the screen is not really sure who Marlon Brando is. I know when somebody says his name that it has a certain reverence,
That's
and I'm
why
supposed to
you're-
know who he is.
That's why
But
you're
I've been
down there.
faking it for 30-ish years, probably since I was kind of adultish. We've been saying Marlon Brando. I've been like, oh yeah.
Oh, that guy. Yeah.
All I know is that guy on South Park looks just like him.
37
last
people
4
just
years?
canceled their Getting Optics orders. I am so ashamed. I'm sorry.
Oh, no.
Ladies and gentlemen of the audience.
No, they only canceled him to make him bigger.
The last 4 years, you've been like, hey, yeah, let's go, Brando.
Brando, I'm looking it up right now. Oh,
Roden's
okay.
right.
Yeah,
He's the Godfather.
I know that dude. Yeah, no, I'm familiar. Yeah. Okay.
Wait,
Oh, that makes way more sense now.
Wait a
Oh,
minute, am I the only person who knows who Marlon Brando is?
well, I haven't. This would make sense. I've not seen The Godfather. If I had seen The Godfather, I'd probably know who Marlon Brando was.
Okay, well, welcome back to another episode of Uncultured Fucks. I'm your host, the only one with any culture.
Uncultured fucks. Mike has a ponytail now.
Not yet. I mean, well, not currently.
Yes, I saw it. You can't say not yet. You had a hair tie in it. It was sticking out the back of your
What
hat.
I meant was not currently. Yes, I have been wearing it, and I'm quite pleased that it's long enough.
We
Were
know if
you
you're shaved.
headed to the office and you're like, Ella, give me one of your hair ties?
No, I ordered my own. Thank you. They're way too large.
You ordered them? You realize there's a store called Walmart that sells this shit, right?
Not black
But he's
multicam
like,
hair
wait,
ties.
I don't want to be seen buying these, so I better get them from Amazon.
You realize
hey,
I don't know
that's
where to
Tiger
look for
Stripe.
these, right? So I went to Amazon and typed hair ties, and boom, the wrong size showed up, but they work. I didn't know
Yeah.
what size to get, so
I didn't know they came in sizes. That is very.
I didn't either.
interesting. On this episode of Let's Go Hunt Hair Accessories with Michael.
same thing
Well,
about
I'm-
condoms. They come in different sizes. Did you know that?
I'm not your dad,
What's a
but I am
condom?
feeling his disappointment right now.
Oh, boy.
Roden, we are sorry. Roden 818. I'm going to do a public apology
well,
there.
then he said that Apocalypse Now is long and boring, and now I'm not his. He's no longer my Armenian Jezebel. He's just a Jezebel.
You took away his Armenian status?
Yeah.
You can do that?
Well, because the Armenian part makes him cool.
Hey, man,
That
Doja's
he's not
cutting a
cool
lot of
anymore.
people. You never know. Sam might just have his finger on that department. He might be the new, removing your.
Let's not go too deep into that topic. Moving
Whatever you want. Okay. Anyway. Dusky Econ also. My apologies. I had hoped to come here and know what weird thing you put in your trade-in package. I actually drove up to the warehouse specifically for that because he's been asking if I received it yet. And I also spoke to the young lady that works in the front office, and she has also not got anything disturbing in a package. For those of you who don't know this story, I believe it's Dusky said that he put something weird in a trade-in box. Right?
I guarantee
Sent in
you
for
that
our
was
trade-in
Dusky.
program.
Yeah, maybe that got flagged and never made it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe the,
Was it
maybe
ticking?
the
Either went-
USPS was like,
Did it
why
have a
is this
weird
guy mailing an
smell?
alligator penis? And like,
It was vibrating in the box.
He either
Sent
went
something
too far
dripping, it did not make it.
or not far enough.
So what happened was they asked him at the post office, like, you shipping any electronics? And they said no. And then later on, like, up, liar.
And it was just the dick, like the death throes twitching
no,
in
see?
the box.
I was wrong. It is Dr. Scary Guy.
Well, maybe they should both stop having D's in their name. And
No.
it's
Oh,
the
okay.
only
Then
part.
it definitely didn't make it.
Yeah, that we're looking at much weirder than an alligator cock. Then
Okay.
I'm not
well,
writing
this
that
is
one
great.
down.
maybe.
I will.
It'll never get past the things. But anyway, Bob, welcome to the
Depends how we spell it.
weirdest
Yeah.
hunting podcast around.
If we
And
spell
also
it
the Kool-Aid.
Kawk,
Welcome back. What's new in the world of optics?
Nope. I got it.
What's new? You can finally buy a Valor Mini. Oh no, wait. Oh, no, wait, I can't hold guns. You can finally buy a Valor Mini.
I mean, we can, but poor old Montana dirt roads would be boned.
Yeah, we tend to wait for our gun holding till the end of the episode so that we get banned right at the end, and then YouTube's like, "We
okay.
took your content."
That's
down,"
right.
and
We
we're
are
like,
also on
"Aha,
YouTube,
suck it."
yeah.
I've got both hands on my gun right now. That's all I got to say.
That's weird because your hands are not visible and your gun's above you.
Yep. Don't like that.
Not that one. This one.
Don't like it even further.
This one.
I feel like this is my fault. I
This
make Sam
Random
weirder.
ass Dusky in the chat. Cloaca.
Cargo cloaca.
Apropos of nothing.
Oh my goodness.
Apropos birds. I don't know.
All right. So
So Valor Minis.
Yeah, and next week mediators will finally be back, so people can stop harassing me in my various DMs and other guys, Mike and Jordan as well. All of the DMs of all of our social medias are full of people asking for mediators that have been missing for about 4 weeks. And then,
how about
I'd say
wait. Did you say
What?
mediator in green?
no,
Oh,
Oh,
sorry,
He
Rob.
said mediators
Sorry, Rob.
for 4
only
weeks.
because I
Wah,
hate
wah.
Sam. No, still just
No, it's
red,
not
man.
me. It's poor old Roden. He's been waiting on a
Green,
mediator with a green dot ever since he won that giveaway.
That's because Rodin's green with envy.
No, green emitters. Apparently, the reason, I think I've said this before, maybe not on this show. The reason that you see a lot of manufacturers or optic companies charge more for a green is simple supply and demand. Now I don't know if they're paying more for them. We don't pay more for them, but we don't get as many of them as we get at Reds. So now the Valor Mini is still only in red for right now. The Mediator is only going to be in red. I don't know what the Judge 2 or the Judge XL or the Storm that are all going to be out before the end of April. I'm not sure whether those will be in green initially or not. I'm not sure if we reserved any green emitters for those, but those will all be at least in red. Before
I'm
the end
still
of
on the fence about the whole green emitter thing. First green emitter I ever had is the 30. Is your guys' 34 millimeter? And I don't know if I like it or not. Like I do, but it also it goes against my entire optic. Things are supposed to be red.
Can you really call it a red dot if it's green?
Well, it's not a red dot. It's a scope.
Right. Well, even
We still
I
call
got-
them red dots, I think. Red dots kind of become a ubiquitous term for anything.
like
that
jet
does that
ski.
thing.
I got
I
the
guess.
autism and
I'm too
green
poor to
seems
understand what
bloom
you're
worse.
saying.
Is
You
that
say green
because-
seems a little bit worse, Vince?
Yeah, it seems like it blooms worse with the autism.
Autism.
Yeah, you know what? I think green was hype for a minute. I fell into the hype the same way I did with pistols way back in the day. I bought like a bunch of Glocks, decided Glocks were the thing, and then tried one M&P, and I said, oh no, these are the best. I need all of these. And sold all my Glocks and bought every size of M&P whenever they first came out.
That's
Did
definitely
the same thing with Springfield. And I started to do the same thing with green. I was like, oh, this green, my eye picks it up way better. Now that's what my brain told me, right? I put a green one on. I was like, oh, my eye picks it up way better, and started replacing everything with green. And now I am back to red, because it may be that green is what my eye picks up better, but I find it that I'm faster with red, if that makes sense. Almost practicing with both of them side by side over and over. And I'm not that fast, but even on the timer, I'm a little quicker with the red. I almost feel like my brain focuses on the green for a moment instead of just looking past it to the target. I can more easily passively use red. I might be crazy, but I've now dumped all my greens. And,
well,
and
red
went
is the
exclusively to
only
red.
color that that doesn't kill your night vision. So if you like go from a red lit room outside, your night vision is still intact. That's why it also doesn't transmit very far. The waves don't transmit very far. And I'm sure it's got something to do with the wavelength and the fact that there is a ton of infrared light coming from the sun that your tiny little red dot is mixing in with, versus maybe not so much of the green, whatever you call green light, like green, I guess. I don't know.
I don't know.
I'm not a like light scientist, but I only know a tiny bit that like there are waves and stuff.
But you are light.
Yeah. I mean, we all are technically.
I don't know. Like the amber dots intrigue me, but just anything but blue, just never do blue, because blue doesn't actually exist.
Yeah, amber seems to be a lot more natural, like red as well. Blue and green just go, I'm blue, I'm green.
I've looked at blue, and it's like the Christmas lights. They exist, and yet they don't. They're like Schrodinger's light. You try and look at it, and it disappears. And you look a little to the left, and there it is. And you try and look back at it, and it's gone. It's like, I'm going to have a stroke.
There's just one guy that asked for blue. I don't know that we'll ever do it.
I want to put
amber,
headlights like that on it.
And I'm not a light scientist either, but every time we meet and start talking about this stuff, I'm like, hey, can we get some ambers? And everybody else is like, maybe.
What, Kate's not good enough for you?
I've never met an amber that wasn't a psycho. So
light.
That's
I thought we were
fair.
talking about light gold. I haven't seen too many optics makers do it either. Right? Who was it? Did Trigicon put one out? Was it Trigicon or EOTech? Trigicon tried it for sure.
Someone had a fiber wire scope with an amber.
I think Swamp Fox did it as well in some of their prisms.
Is that?
From
I was
what
thinking
hear.
them.
Well, yeah, it
or
may have
Primary
been-
Arms.
Yeah,
I think it's probably Swamp Fox that has a couple amber ones that I
think,
may have poked through.
Yeah, I think our other company, JC Supply, I'm almost certain that we still have amber prisms that are Swamp Fox branded sitting on a shelf. They
Nice.
just, I don't know why. I don't know if people are afraid to try them. I haven't looked into a whole lot of amber ones, but
Well, think how reluctant people were to get into red dots on rifles, and then it exploded, and then people are reluctant to get into red dots on pistols, and then that exploded, and now people are reluctant to get into red dots on shotguns. Guess what?
yeah.
the early GWatt FUD lore about how red dots were good up close, but you couldn't shoot anything past 100 yards with one.
Well, there's some guy with a canoe in his forehead that kind of proved that accurate, but only by sheer luck.
Pepperidge Farm remembers.
What?
Happened in Bob's neck of the woods.
What? What did I do?
Okay. I get it. He's talking about the guy who missed Trump.
Yes. That
That guy sucks.
you can't use a red dot past 100 yards accurately, and I was just saying, look, it's correct. Only by luck, but it's correct.
Oh boy.
Well, anyway.
So
You're kind of-
anyway,
I'm
Today-
not always funny. I'm sorry.
What were we talking about?
I
Nothing.
think Mike needs a
You were talking
7-second
about
delay.
optics until I derailed us severely.
Let's
we're
talk about
very-
something else. You know what I meant to say at the beginning was that I figured it was at least 50-50 being April Fool's Day, that the link that I received to join this show was going to go to like Vince's OnlyFans feet pics page or something. So it
Nah,
was
that would have been
really-
me doing a Rickroll for you.
Really,
I
it was
figured
really cool to actually get brought into the studio here. Thanks, guys.
I think if Vince had an OnlyFans, it would be like upper calf, not really feet.
I haven't seen, but I'll take your word for it, Dave.
He's a marathoner.
I just rolled it back and forth.
mhm. I'm uncomfortable with this conversation.
I'm deeply uncomfortable. Go on.
So speaking of April Fools, anybody get got today?
Almost.
I did twice.
But
Not
yeah,
in person, but by stupid shit on the internet that I saw.
yeah, I saw that too.
Mhm.
I might have got. I haven't figured it out yet, but I'll let you know later.
I gotta think on this one for a bit. I'm not sure.
I don't
Well-
think I did. No, some YouTuber got me with a video that wasn't what I expected it to be, but it wasn't anything
Oh,
gross.
gay
It
porn.
was just come on, Sam. Let's keep it classy. It's my wedding anniversary today. Also, I was married
Oh,
on
happy
April Fool's Day.
anniversary.
Thanks, 21 years ago. Yeah, I was just trying to break the awkward Sam tension
Interesting.
by throwing that
No,
one out
All right,
there.
you
Somebody-
listen to our entire show is awkward Sam tension. You're aware of this.
Yeah,
Mhm.
that's correct.
Oh, yeah, it's Sam, Mike. Sam's the awkward one.
I didn't say I wasn't awkward. I'm just saying Sam's the awkward tension. I'm the awkward humor.
Fair enough.
Mike Awkward Silence Gonzalez.
That works.
My initials are MASG.
Massage.
Anyway,
I got a BRB. Talk for a minute.
so I nothing stupid I might have got the game I like, War Thunder. It said they were coming out with infantry, and I was like, this is a vehicle tech research game where you play tanks, planes, boats from World War I and up. Who wants to play people? You want to play people, play Battlefield or something else. So I haven't figured out if that's actually a real thing or they did an April Fool's joke and we're like, haha, you thought we were adding people, dumbass.
I didn't see a whole lot. I saw one that was kind of like, oh, we're importing this gun that doesn't actually exist. It was in a video game. And I was like, I think it was Faxon. I was like, that's kind of dumb. The one thing I thought was funny, actually, this is the only joke I saw that was actually, I think this is the only April Fool's joke I saw, was Bob's nonsense with the different reticles.
I didn't do that, but that was hilarious. Yeah, Mike thought that one before he posted. That was pretty good. It turned out way better than I thought when he described it. It still sounded funny, and then he put it up, and I was like, "That's tremendous."
It's the scattergun reticle, and it's just a bunch of
That
dots.
one was my favorite.
I was like, I thought it was gonna be like the new shooter reticle. Like no matter where no matter where it lands, that's where you are aiming. So,
Rick's Optics put out a post about their new thermal called the BFS 9000, and the sensor was like 10,000 something by 8,000 something, and the fucking thermal is like this big sitting on top of the rifle, and I'm like, okay, that's BFS means bull fucking shit. So,
and I think there's a callback there to the BFG 9000 from
Doom.
Yes.
Doom. I'm gonna sing the Doom song now. Doom, 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 doom.
Yeah, the two that got me
with you.
The two that got me were a fake article from the Fire Alarm blog. Well, it wasn't even an article from the Fire Alarm blog. It was just a fake link. That was the U.S. dropped sanctions on Norinco. That one got me for a minute because I immediately went, cheap ammo. I was like, oh, damn it. And then just before the show, a normally reliable Instagram channel that goes over some world news was talking about various pre-deployments and to around Greenland. That the Harry Truman had been sent up by Greenland, and that the 82nd Airborne was like, oh, wait a minute, really? Like, oh, fuck, damn it. Never mind.
TX Arms shared one that was Trump signing an executive order to eliminate the NFA. And then at the bottom of the picture, like I read the whole thing, and then it got down there. It's like, haha, got you fuckers.
That sucks. That's bullshit.
Yeah. I mean, fucking official NBC looking headline too.
Mm-hmm.
I saw the ATF post on Facebook, and I still don't know whether it was. I didn't go track down the comments. I just kind of scrolled past it. That they controlled, what do they call it? A controlled burn of an illegal fireworks factory that someone was running out of their house. And it's just a bunch of ATF jacketed people standing there with fireworks spraying out of the top of a home. And I'm pretty sure it was supposed to be April Fool's, but I found it disgusting at the same time.
Yeah.
Because
we
still remember.
I thought their April Fool's, it would have been like, we are finally going to admit fault for Ruby Ridge and Waco. Just kidding.
Because I don't imagine they would do that, right? It was like a home in like a town block, right? There were houses on either side of it, and there was just fireworks shooting up out of this house. I thought it was really in poor taste.
Did
far too
they
late.
claim to have
kill
evacuated
all
it
the people
first,
inside
or was
first.
it just?
I don't remember. I did read the caption, but I don't remember exactly whether it
Jeez.
said that they evacuated them or not. But either
bet
way,
they got-
terrible.
I bet they got lit up in the comments more than that house did.
They always do. I don't know why the ATF would be posting on Facebook. I say that every time. I normally do go read the comments just to make sure that they're getting absolutely roasted. I'll spend a couple minutes scrolling down and make sure that they're just getting hammered. But why would you do that? You're a government agency that everyone hates.
It's like
why would you bother?
it's every year that they come out and say pay some tribute to the officers who died at Waco.
God, that is my favorite thing, and they get roasted in the comments.
Every year they get roasted in the comments, and they keep doing it. It's almost like there's no accountability and they don't care.
Nope. Not even the social media dude doesn't care. Just keeps doing it.
Oh, their social media guys probably all AI. If we like shooting can do it, the ATF can do it.
Hey, should we stop for a second and talk about something actually hunting and or firearms related?
Yes. Is it a 5x25?
Do we care about Colorado?
Unfortunately,
Some of them do.
Yeah.
Did you really start having what is it, like 6% or something tax on all firearms, precursor parts, and ammunition
starting today?
Yep.
And there's already a lawsuit against it. You probably saw that too, right?
Yep.
Yeah, that can't fly, right? It just absolutely sucks. Sorry, I'm going to end up going down a tangent where I hate all of the taxpayers' money that nobody realizes wasted because we're too busy sitting on one side or the other cheering, "Yay, tax those guns!" or "No, it's all right, you shouldn't be taxing them." And not enough people stop and go, "That's dollars. That's attorneys sitting on two sides, at least for sure on the government side, right? Is all taxpayers' dollars to pass laws that are unconstitutional and are going to get voided."
And then on top of that, it's further dollars that we as citizens have paid these organizations in order to fight for us. So we're not only getting taxed to fight the government's fight for them, we also have to pay to fight against the government with our own money. It's fucking ridiculous.
No disrespect. I mean, I'm going to keep doing it, but it's outrageous that I basically have to pay one tax to take my rights away. And I have to pay a second time for somebody to fight to get my rights back. It's horrendous. It might be the worst thing about being a grown-up is understanding how that works. I'll tell you what.
Yeah.
Rodden's right.
They've got conversation Constitution. You're not a grown-up.
Being a kid was great.
Being a kid was stupid. I couldn't own guns.
Rodden lives in.
I don't have
anyway.
a lot.
Leave me alone.
Shut up. I don't have a whole lot of hope for lawsuits because Rodden's right. California's had a 10% tax for years. So it's not going anywhere anytime soon.
Thankfully, California's tax is a lot further in the courts than ours is. Ours just started, so it's got a long way to go. And unfortunately, I don't think it or the new bullshit law Polis is about to sign into law have much chance until past the 10th Circuit. The 10th Circuit's a bunch of fucking rubes. The Colorado Supreme Court is a bunch of clowns appointed by Hickenlooper and Polis for the last 20 years or so. And it's going to take fucking years to get past these ridiculous roadblocks by activist judges who will they'll refuse to even look at a Supreme Court ruling from 3 years ago. And then completely make up their own goddamn reasoning as to why they're not finding in favor of the gun plaintiffs.
It's like when you try and get a 2-year-old to throw up in a trash can, and they'll do it absolutely anywhere besides the trash can.
Right? To the toilet, all over the floor.
Like you'll hold a trash can in front of their face, and they'll like try and dodge around it to get and throw up like
it's
all
amazing
over.
how similar to
your
toddlers
shoes.
drunk people are.
Toddlers, drunk people, and circuit court judges.
Yes, correct.
And there isn't any. There is there even an accountability mechanism for
the Second Amendment, but nobody wants to say that.
Don't. I mean,
don't say anything actionable.
Well, criminally, you can do what I'm planning on doing, and you can petition the DOJ to criminally investigate these politicians for violating Title 18, Section 242, violation of civil rights under color of law or something like that. And that's an actual federal statute. And the federal DOJ can investigate that and bring criminal charges if they so choose. We happen to have a federal DOJ that claims they're on our side, so petitioning them.
All they'll do is just release some very redacted files to some influencers.
I mean, I think, if I'm not mistaken, circuit court judges, federal judges can be impeached. But it's the same process by which you would impeach the president, and it requires articles of impeachment to be filed by the House and a trial to be carried out by the Senate, which is a lengthy process that is politically charged and no one is actually going to do.
Yeah.
That's insane, because their job is just supposed to be, right, to analyze the facts and weigh it against the law, right?
Right.
An objective, the objective voice.
They're supposed to be the objective voice. You're
that
right.
was the intent, yes, from the beginning.
Nothing.
And
you can't sue them either, right? Like I can't sue them for not doing their job correctly when it's obvious.
You know, I wonder if someone's tried that though. Like
I
suing
would
a
imagine
circuit
they have
court
some type of
judge.
immunity.
So Colorado also has a statute that allows you to sue peace officers for doing their duties in a manner that violates your civil rights. And I would say that enforcing any part of these laws you would have to be unfortunately the law would probably have to be well on its way to being ruled unconstitutional for that to have any merit. But at the same time, like, you could get before a judge, and any judge sympathetic to your cause could listen to you and be like, you know what, this law does violate the Constitution and the officer did violate your rights, and he should have known that this law violated the Constitution and he should not have enforced it, because officers are bound above all to the Constitution first and foremost, and then sworn to uphold the laws that the people pass. But if a law passes, or a passed law violates the Constitution, whether it's ruled unconstitutional or not, peace officers should not be enforcing them.
Well, you're just kind of getting into qualified immunity at this point, and qualified immunity is broken.
Yeah.
But there's been some cases recently, I think, where it's kind of unbroken a little bit, where people acting in uniquely insane ways have been found liable for what they did. But it's still a broken system in that sense. And I think that you should be able to, so higher courts should be able to remove lower court justices.
I agree.
If they are acting in a way inconsistent with judicial norms.
Like a Supreme Court ruling should come with judicial removal.
Right. If you continue to just find opposite of what a Supreme Court ruling has found, you should be, not has what I think they have a 4% success rate, something like that, of their rulings about the Second Amendment being upheld.
Yeah,
when they've actually gone to review. Anyway, but there should be some method by which the Supreme Court can remove justices on lower courts for improper findings on certain cases, or in cases in general when it's obvious that judges are acting in a way that is not bound in the law, but is simply activism. But then again, you get to the double-edged sword where, 30 years from now, 20 years from now, it may be a very liberal court at the Supreme Court level, and they start removing judges on lower courts who actually have the desire to read the Constitution and apply the laws as they are written, and removing them because they're applying the laws as written, and that's, terrorism or racism or some nonsense that the court decides. So
anytime you do something to prevent the other side from doing it, eventually they'll turn around and do it to you, which is what happened with the filibuster, removing the filibuster for so many things. The Democrats removed the filibuster so they can pass something and then get mad that the Republicans don't have the filibuster in their way to pass this.
They removed the filibuster for lower court judges, and then they removed the filibuster for Supreme Court justices. And that has come back and bitten them really hard over the past dozen years or so.
Maybe this is the course correction we need, that we have the Supreme Court that we do because we went way too hard left, and now it's time to veer back right.
I don't know.
We can't just keep going left.
I don't like trusting in the courts to fix these problems.
That's the one of only two recourses we have at this point, though.
Yeah, you are correct. Yes, one of two. That is the number one of two, and two is behind this door. And
okay, one of three, aside from petitioning the DOJ, which is still
okay. You were going to write a letter. I forgot.
I'm going to send a letter to Trump too, because he's president. May as well.
Hey, you know what? Go ahead. Invite him on the show. It's fine.
Dude, what if he said yes? That'd be funny as fuck.
It'd be this.
Yeah. Who are these guys?
We're the greatest hunting show ever. And I do mean in New York. I'll tell you what, it's the greatest show there ever was. You're going to love these guys. They're great.
That would be something else.
I went hunting one time in New York. These guys, they were nowhere near it, but they're great hunters. They're the best.
They're the best.
I think I'd have to go into hiding. I don't think I need that kind of attention.
Yeah, you do.
Dude, we would go from like whatever 700-800 followers to 700,000-800,000 instantly.
Yeah, but none of them would stick around.
True.
A lot of people don't unsubscribe on purpose, I don't think. Not the way you pace it, right? It's not like you're spamming shorts out there. You know what I mean? You're a regular weekly, you've got a schedule, they know what to expect.
And honestly, once you subscribe to somebody, you kind of forget that you subscribe to them unless they show up in your feed again. And you're like, oh, yeah, those guys. And you're not going to actively seek someone out unless they keep showing you shit that you really don't want to see. And then you're like, well, that's just too gross for even me. Unfollow.
Yeah, I'm too lazy to even unsubscribe from marketing texts and emails that I don't want. Like I'll say, damn it, and mark red on the same emails and text messages from places I have no intention of ever buying anything from for forever. Because I have to focus my brain and stop what I'm doing to actually hit the unsubscribe and then confirm the unsubscribe and then go back. So once you got them, you'll keep those.
Ooh, primers are on sale. All right. Wait, no, I can't afford primers right now. Damn it, Brownells.
Most people are mentally too weak and fuddled by social media to actually not watch whatever happens to be put in front of them. Just saying.
Rhodes got a point. Yeah, we should invite Donald Trump Jr. I'll see what I can do. I'm just kidding. I'm gonna do the same thing as I'm gonna do like Mike writing a letter, hoping the DOJ. It's worth a shot. I'm gonna do the same thing. Just gonna.
Yeah, maybe it'll be a gun con. We can hit him up then.
Please take pity on us.
Probably it somewhere. That's what I should do, huh? We should just invite them to all these shows.
So we should just start stalking them. Got it.
Are you bored on a random Tuesday night?
Mr. President, is running the country boring on a Tuesday night? Well, then definitely start a show at 10:22 your time.
Got nothing better to do.
The Secret Service shows up to all our houses for this show, but we're not even anywhere near it. Doesn't matter. Okay.
Yeah, like I said, I don't need that kind of attention.
So anyway, we'll make that happen, and you are coming, Sam. When we eventually do make that happen, we'll get at least.
And he doesn't.
Oh, I'll bring my ski mask. We'll get
at least there. Junior. We can at least make Junior happen. Me and Mike can.
All right.
All right.
Bob, you're going to GunCon, correct?
Yes.
Good deal.
You better.
What kind
Pretty
of stuff
excited.
Are you bringing that you can talk about?
When's GunCon? Oh, everything will be out by GunCon.
End of June.
The Judge 2, the Judge XL, the Storm.
Now, hold on. Tell me about the Judge XL.
5 to 25.
Yes, 5 to 25. 5 to 25.
Wait, what's the Storm?
The Storm will be... Go ahead.
I was just going to say it's when the Earth is
Fuck up, Mike.
It has a balance, and it's balances off in its weather, and the storm corrects that balance.
I thought you were going to say the
I'm gonna start
X-Men
driving
character
right
played
now.
by, was it Halle Berry?
Oh, that's a good answer too.
That's a good storm.
Yeah, that's a good storm.
In
Our first
11 hours, I will
DPP.
kick Mike in the nuts.
What? That's
I'm gonna start driving right now.
All right, I'll be there. I'll video it.
I don't answer my door, so
B&E it is.
The storm will be our Delta Point Pro. It's gonna
Okay.
be it's gonna be about the same size window as the Omega.
Okay.
But it is more square. So it's just kind of be an extension up from the sides of the slide, if that makes sense.
yeah, that sounds pretty solid, actually.
With a 6 MOA dot. But yeah, there's a good bit of. I can't think of what guns come from the factory with only a Delta Point Pro footprint. I know that there's still a lot. There's a ton of P320s floating around
Same.
out there.
Yep, the 320, the
Yeah.
M17, M18. That's all a Delta Point Pro footprint. But not that I care. I'm personally divorced from SIG.
And Vince asked,
he's looking to sell his M18, and I may be looking to buy his M18 because I've been looking for another
I
320.
never said I was specifically going to sell it.
I said you were thinking about it.
Possibly.
come on,
If he does, I might buy it, and if I do, I'm going to find something
Hey,
to put on.
I've moved on to greener pastures and thicker women. That's all I have to say.
We'll talk about your thick pastures in a minute.
Mm-hmm.
Vince, the Judge XL is an RMSC footprint with I can't remember how many millimeters of window, but is not quite as large as what the Granite is, but a large window RMSC footprint that should be good for your double stack 1911s, 2011s, staccatos, things like that.
Nice.
That's attractive. I have a Gerson High Point clone, the TAC Ops one. That this is the lower for it, but the slide's somewhere else getting milled for a red dot right now, and it's getting an RMSC cut on it, and that seems very interesting.
Well, you're my favorite, so I don't know if I'll remember it. I have like 3 of these little yellow notebooks laying around here that I scribble things down on, and I try to keep them in the front. But Vince Judge XL just got written down underneath Don Jr. LGH. Those are on my action items for tomorrow or for the next couple weeks.
I was gonna buy a Valor
We'll just start
Mini, but then I
harassing
ran
him
out of
on
money.
Instagram.
No, it says oh, you can't. There you go. Yeah.
I was gonna
Only
take
2 things on that list. Don Jr. LGH. That's what I have to do in the next 12 hours, boys.
I was gonna buy a Valor Mini and then
Committed
send
to
you
it.
an optic, and I was gonna pack the optic in a Werther's candy, but I ran out of money, so
You ran out of Werther's?
I ran out of Werther's and money, so
Werther's are expensive, even at the dollar store. Like to buy that many.
you just
You guys
search
are
random purses. They're there.
Too young.
Did you just say what you... Do you
care
realize
about the-
what you just said?
Price of Werther's.
That the Werther's cost too much at the dollar store because of how many you have to buy? You know they're $1 at the dollar store, right? $1.
Listen,
and you get more than one.
If you're gonna buy enough to package an optic in it, you need more than one. So,
How big of an optic is it? I'm imagining it's not very big.
well, I mean, if it's a pistol, I guess you
It's like one to
spent
two
$1.
How big is it, Vince?
It's an old Prism sight, but it's an old Cabela's branded Prism sight. It still works. I just don't like it.
Ew.
Don't put it in Prism. We're not Werther's.
Reminds me, who do I have to thank? A Dr. Scary Guy? Anybody else out there sent a trade-in, and I have a whole bucket full of trade-ins I still need to go through, and I
Do
haven't
you have
done it.
anything like actually cool and retro, or is it all just like crap from the early
Junk.
2000s?
Where to put it?
Because just saying, if you get anything that's like actually cool and retro from the 90s, you hit me up. We do a deal.
I thought this was cool.
That's
I
the
think
freaking generic red dot from every
Dr.
Call of Duty game. And
Dr. Scary Guy might have. Oh, wait, hold on. Let me crank this knob. I don't know if you would.
That's
Nah, you're not
kinda-
gonna
Oh
do it.
man, it works.
Yeah.
It is. It's still functional. It's a little beat up, and I don't know how I feel about this. I don't know if you can see. It's like got a. It's got
Oh,
a
yeah.
suspension. Now that's how
Yeah.
right you do your elevation. But when I picked
The
it up and
screw
squeezed it like I'm
vanished.
like, Oh, that's
Oh, it's a
weird.
low
Hey,
rider.
Yeah, I
If-
like it.
if-
I
if
just
you
keep it sitting here on my desk. That's the only one I've actually like claimed and taken.
Look, if you can grab onto a $3,000 elk can, you can grab onto a $3,000 elk can and wiggle it around. That'll be fine.
I don't know what the fuck's going on, but
I don't know, but I'm about to just fucking shut this shit down because I hate singing.
Sam, we still got
Take a
to
little
go out
trip.
to the range and
Take a
shoot this
little
with
trip.
buckshot before we send it off to Bob, because I want to send him and this one, and I found another scope in my closet. If I send him both, then I'll have enough. I can get an optic for my daughter's Savage Rascal.
No,
I think I
all
have
I'm-
one of those
I'm-
already. That thing you were just shaking around.
Ah,
One of
that's
null
the
and
old-
void.
A Steel Weaver from like 1971.
Yup. The one
Is
I
that a-
got doesn't work.
I'll
Is that a
It's not
3/4
broken.
inch?
Oh my god.
It still works. Like I can still see you. You're blurry.
No, you were supposed to shoot that with a shotgun.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. We need to go out there and do that, and
Okay.
then I can send because it's a steel cased optic.
No,
What-
Roden. I think that's probably the oldest thing I got. Most of it is what I haven't gotten to go through the
TRS
bucket because I also
25s.
want to make a video. I want to like line them up and kind of just pan across them and show the grams what we've gotten for trade-in so far. There is a couple EPSs in there, which I did not expect.
EPS.
The Hollow Sun is actually
Oh.
newer and kind of expensive, but
Hmm.
one of them didn't work at all, and the other one seemed to be a little on the wonky side.
EPS is
So I
Maybe
assume
that's why
they
you got them.
Yeah, I assume that's why they got traded in. Right.
I don't know why they wouldn't send them back to Holliston and be like, "Hey, your shit don't work."
I wonder how they all have order numbers on them. I might try to figure out how many Dr. Scary guys sent in if I want to take that kind of time, go through and look them all up and see how many in that bucket are his.
It's probably
It'll-
most of them.
It'd probably scare you, and that's not a reference to
It
his
can't be
name.
most of them. It's a lot. I mean, when I say bucket, I've got more than a 5-gallon bucket already in like I don't remember how many weeks or a month or two maybe we've been doing this. We haven't really advertised it. We
Mhm.
kind of launched as a trial program. We didn't know how many people would even care, how many people take advantage of it. It will eventually or is supposed to become what the idea is long term is for it to become kind of a for it to have tiers. Right. So right now it says it has to be working and not smashed to pieces.
Mhm.
But eventually there will be you get this many dollars if it is smashed to pieces, you get this many dollars if the glass is still intact, but the light's not working, something like that.
Optics grading system.
Right now,
I
it's
didn't-
50 for a pistol sight and 100 for a rifle.
Yeah.
Is that right?
Yeah.
What's a Romeo 5?
Carbine 75.
That's rifle. That's
That's
rifle.
rifle.
It's rifle, but this is a $90 sight.
Right.
And
I'm
I will
just
give
saying.
you $100.
First of all, lower your voice.
He's like, wait a minute. I mean, the
all right, so it's got to
TRS-25
get
is
sent
what-
to Bob's house.
Cheat code unlocked.
I mean, I can do you one better. What's the TRS-25? When I bought mine, it was like $70.
I have not
Dude, the
gotten
sight
I've-
mark, it was like they had it on sale for $34, but it was normally $75 at Cabela's. My mom and stepdad bought like 4 of them. They were like, "Is this any good?" Because I worked there at the time. I was like, "Oh," so they bought them anyway. Dude,
I'll tell you
that's
this,
gold right there.
I've not seen anything in the bucket that I was like, oh, I need to go home and put that on a gun that I care about. So
So
I would
everything
say
in the bucket kind of is understandably in the bucket.
Yeah, the audience is doing a good job. Yeah, all the island or the bucket of misfit toys that I've collected, I look at all of them. I'm like, yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, there's nothing that I was like, oh, except for that old timey thing that I just showed you, and that was more of a nostalgia history, I guess, because I can remember seeing those things years ago.
You know, it would be really cool for like the really autistic people is, those things on YouTube where they start out with like with Star Trek starships, they do the really smallest starship and then they grow to the really biggest, and then they do the same thing with Star Wars and Death Star and all that. Well, you could do that, except it's the age of the optics. You put the oldest first, and then we get to see how optics have progressed, and then you put all yours at the end and be like, send us your shit.
I like that.
But it would require a lot of autism, looking at the optic, looking up when it was made, and putting it in the exact correct order, because otherwise it's wrong.
Oh yeah, you get someone there who's like, actually, this optic was released 3 days before that one, and
I wrote it
And
down
that,
anyway.
and that person's name is Vince.
It's really a cool idea.
Are
It
you
would be
going to sell buckets of used optics trade-ins?
No, why would I do that? kidding me?
Walk into a pawn shop and it was like, "Do I have a
Like-
deal for you?"
by the
It's
pound?
because
Like
I mean,
it's
maybe
jelly
like
beans?
yeah, maybe that, yeah, maybe in like street clothes. I'm just saying, I just walk into a pawn shop and just shake the bucket and say, "How much?"
I got what you need.
What do you
Start a
want?
scrap optic company.
$1,000
Yeah,
bucks.
sorry.
This whole thing.
I thought you meant
You're good.
actually sell them, because no, I do not need the emails and the DMs from people who bought Dr. Scary Guy's old junk or EPSs that don't turn on anymore. Like,
Just
I gave you $20 for this.
You know what?
We could donate them to
Army-
Ukraine.
Military surplus stores exist. You could start a civilian surplus store.
you could have the most hilarious gun broker ad ever. 5-gallon bucket of optics.
$200.
No reserve.
I know.
I'll
I
consider it. I'll consider it.
You don't
And
get
then,
to pick what's in it.
You know what?
It includes a free car radio.
yeah, no low balls. I know what I got.
Mhm. I did have a
Probably
serious
won't do it, but that gives me an idea. I've
Comes with a
judge.
judge.
No, if I have to pick what, like I could pick a charity and do something like that, because then I wouldn't care what you got, right? Like, just dump the bucket out on the floor, right, and take
It's
a picture of it. And be like, we're
Really a
raising
shame
money
there
for
aren't,
whatever.
It's a shame there aren't, like, optics for children in need. You've got this bolt gun, it's got no sight, but there you go, Timmy. I've got just the sight for you.
Like when,
Like,
like when you
sponsor
get
a gangbanger.
Fuck.
you
Jesus.
sponsor a
So
gang-
glad you ended that with
It's like when you get new glasses and they encourage you to drop your old glasses off so they can supposedly, retrofit them for some poor dude in Africa.
Yeah, no.
Bitch, that's why the
Okay.
brand new pair I got had a crack in them already.
You got my old glasses?
She said these are the VA pair.
Yeah, you got my old glasses. Perfect. I didn't know I was helping our veterans in need.
I think Dave had a serious question.
I did actually.
Oh, dang it! Sorry, Dave.
Oh no, you're good. So on the first of all, shot my Guardian a lot. Actually, shot it out to 630 yards.
I was about to say I
And-
shot mine a lot too, but different circumstances. My bad.
I have had mine mounted to my rifle and then fired projectiles downrange using that as my sighting device. And I absolutely love it. And I really only use the illumination at night because I hear a bump outside. I had a bear in a tree, and
I forgot about that.
I was wondering if you guys, I didn't know if there was an option, or I guess not really an option, but so your illumination is 1, 2, 10.
Dave's about to give me homework. I already
1
know
to
what he's
11.
going to say, but I'm going to write it down.
But go like 1 off, 2 off, 3
An off switch in between the settings on your
I
illumination.
like those illumination
Yeah.
settings when they have off in between.
And I mean, I would even sacrifice like every other illumination setting
Right.
to get to that. But it's me being picky. But
Nobody in their optic is like, oh, that's one setting too bright, better turn it down one. It's either like 2 or 3 settings too bright or 2 or 3 settings too low.
I've had an optic where it had just the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. It did have off switches in between, but I found out that if you balanced the adjustment knob in between 2 settings, it would turn off. That way, if you wanted it, you just had to turn it 1 notch, and then it would actually kick on after that. Actually,
Yeah, I
hold
don't
on.
know what I got to play with
It'll do it.
at somewhere at SHOT Show that had
just
that. I
looked-
feel like that's not something that is globally, or when I saw it, it was like that should maybe be an industry standard.
See, look.
I don't know why we're not.
It's not a
yeah,
huge
works.
deal.
Okay,
Sam,
never
I
mind.
understand that it could do it, but
It's
will it
janky
do
to
it
do it that way.
writing in my cracker?
No,
I must have left mine on after the coyote hunt, and
Oh.
my battery was dead.
that happens.
No, thanks, Dave. Thanks you for reminding me. I already brought it up, and I don't remember whose it was that. And it's been at least since shot that I've been saying, hey, is there any reason not to? And then we went around and looked at a lot of other company scopes, and almost nobody's doing it. And I suddenly didn't know why. And I guess I'm kind of a dummy. I don't do a ton of rifle work, but once I saw it and saw that nobody else was doing it, I wondered why globally that hasn't been adopted.
I know that in the email that I sent you a while back, I'm pretty sure I mentioned the on-off in between settings on that.
You probably did. I probably brought
It
it
might
up
have
then,
been where I
too.
picked it up from, but
But we haven't put out a scope in forever, I guess. So I'm gonna have to axe the brains if we're putting that in the 5 to 25, or we have not decided to adopt that technology yet.
Which I mean, yeah, totally fine. Still love it. Fucking love the first focal plane reticle.
And seriously, thank you, Dave,
Oh.
for reminding me to remind the brains that that's something I've asked for and that we should do. And we need to beat everybody else to it, honestly. So I think in the not too distant future, everybody will just do that. Like I said, whenever I saw it, touched it, and used it, I was like, well, it's dumb that everybody that makes these things isn't doing this.
It's out there. I've got an optic sitting right here that's got that. It's definitely.
Well, go ahead and tell us about it, Tater Daddy. I'm just kidding. You don't have to.
No,
I
don't
honestly
need
can't
to.
remember.
He doesn't want to
to
hear about the competition.
I do.
Well, it's a $1,700 optic.
Oh Jesus!
Oh,
That's
mean,
how we get better. Well, there's nothing wrong with that, man. You think that that's not what and again, I'm not the brains, but even when I'm doing the things that I do, right, when we're meeting or talking about products in the group chat, those are the things we look at, right? Is the nice stuff, and can we adapt that technology and make it affordable enough?
Right. And is there a price difference, and how much more is it to do that, and that kind of nonsense?
I don't remember what I wanted. I'm trying to remember.
To be fair, I mean, you have an Athlon 2 to 12 like I do, Vince. It does that. It's got in betweens. Yeah. And so does, I think, the Swamp Fox Warhawk that I won in a raffle. Which is
the Athlon.
I think the Warhawk
BTR 2 to 12 is a $500 optic. I mean, it's not.
It's got in betweens. Yeah, it only has 6 illumination settings because again they cut half of them out to get rid of that, to save the detents. But
so my question, since you brought up the Athlon, Bob, is: do you have a name for the 525, or is it going to be the Guardian Long Range or
Guardian ER? Guardian ER. Yeah,
you should call it the Guardian Agra.
Dude,
the what?
Just call it the Guardian Long Boy.
Yeah,
do it
with at least 3 eyes.
Boy.
How mean of you!
What?
Can you somehow integrate a popped collar into this optic? Maybe 2.
Say, yeah, can it come dressed in layered polos?
Oh yeah.
It could come with those sunshades that you put on the end of like the scope hoods, but it could be made out of denim and pop the collars around it, and you just put the collars down if you don't want it, and just if you do.
Dusky asked. Dusky asked if there's anything in particular anybody wants to see from all the shows. What shows?
What does that even mean?
The GunCon shows?
Also, Roden, I missed this earlier, but Roden says when we were talking about organizing the optics by age, he says everybody knows you organize optics by mouthfeel.
That's accurate. That's the only way I know to measure anything, actually.
So,
not just,
one of the
feels like any other LPVO.
I really don't remember where I heard this or why, but now you all are going to hear it. And if you didn't know it before, you will now. Look at anything around in your room. Just look at it. Imagine what it will feel like when you reach out and touch it with your fingers. Whatever it is, imagine touching it with your fingers. And now realize that your tongue also knows exactly what that's going to feel like to touch. Your tongue knows. It knows what everything
Is this supposed to be some big revelation? Because I'm not getting it.
the tongue knows, Sam.
No, my brain knows. Because you know what else I can do? I could look at this freaking shotgun shell over here, and you know what? My toes know it'll feel like too, and so does something else that I'm not going to mention on air.
Well, the point is that most people think of their tongue and they think of it as the taste center, as one of the senses, but they don't often realize that the tongue also is a touch sensory organ, and everything that you touch with your fingers, you can touch exactly the same way with your tongue. It'll just be wet.
You got a lot of experience doing that?
Mike over here, like, the tongue is a very sensual organ.
All right, nope.
It sure can be.
Roden wants to know, when do you guys use your illuminated reticles the most? When it's dark out.
Yeah. I've not actually shot a reticle illuminated.
Really?
Not when it's dark out. When it's almost dark out.
Basically.
Like
almost dark and dark.
Like, if you got a little bit of light, you want just a little bit of illumination so that the reticle isn't just black. And I don't know. Besides, like, I've never been in a situation where I needed max illumination on a reticle.
Just a little bit.
In a scope. Unless you have something that is first focal plane and your illumination at low power acts as a red dot.
That would be the old Swamp Fox Warhorse I have, because at 1x that reticle gets lost against like trees.
Yeah, that's how you cheat on a first focal plane reticle, where you have a 1 power, is you make your illumination a red dot on 1 power, and then it's just a red dot.
So I have as I think back, I realize I have actually used illumination. The white-tailed deer that I talked about shooting when I was out, when I took Sean from We Like Shooting deer hunting out in Burlington, that deer that I shot was literally like 4 minutes, 4 minutes before, 10 minutes before last light, and she was 300 yards out. Couldn't see my reticle very well, so I definitely turned the illumination on it. That was on a Swamp Vortex Viper PST on my hunting rifle, but that's a good time for it, actually. I did turn it on and I did use it, and it was very useful close to dark.
No, yeah,
Dave's
I was
100% right.
A weekend and a half ago, whenever it was, I was using the Guardian with the thermal, and I actually had the illumination on just so that I could see the reticle a little bit better against the thermal clip-on screen, just so I could pick that up a little bit better while we were looking at dogs through the thermal.
The thing about illuminated reticles is, like, there's only, so far, I've only found that what Dave said is correct, dark and close to dark. But if it's dark, then you either have night vision or you have a light. And if you shine a flashlight on something, then your normal reticle will still work. Will it work better with illumination and a flashlight? Yes. Will work much better.
Unless you go back to like what Vince said. And if you're using a light with a first focal plane, that illumination really fucking helps. I think when I was looking for this bear, I was at 2x, maybe 1.5, but I had to have the illumination.
That makes sense.
It was just way easier to pick up than just black on black shadows.
Yeah, that makes total sense.
Okay.
Who asked the question? I hope that was answered.
Roden, and thank you.
I think that was Roden. Yeah.
Solid question. Solid answer.
Also, Dusky said gun con and shot and stuff.
I don't know what that means.
His asking about shows. He was asking what we're looking forward to seeing in shows. We, as far as I know, any of us are doing a shot show.
Nope.
Gun con. I don't know what the hell I'm looking forward to seeing. I'm just gonna go there and try and stay mostly sober. And prevent Mike from using casual racism.
You're gonna FaceTime me when you find Bob. because I
Okay.
won't be there.
You know what I'm looking forward to at GunCon? Okay, right now I'm hoping this holds. Our Airbnb is on a lake, and I'm gonna get me an Ohio fishing license, and I'm gonna go fish on that lake.
That's a really good idea.
Cause I'm gonna drive my happy ass out to Ohio, and I'm taking fishing poles with me.
And I'm going to be like, no, drunk Mike, stay away from the lake. Oh, fuck, there he goes.
I'm
It's-
surprised you're making the haul. How far is that, Vince?
It's
That
a
was
number
you
of
that-
hours.
Yeah, I wasn't going to come because it was 13.
I have to drive.
No.
I have to drive through Illinois. It's not. I'm not happy about that.
No one likes Illinois.
Gross.
It's only 13 hours for you, Bob. I thought it would be less, but I don't
Yeah,
really
I
understand
thought that's what it was
geography
for
in that
Vince.
part of the
I'm
world.
probably
What
making
is for
that.
Vince?
I think it's 17 if I drive through Illinois, and it's 20 something if I avoid Illinois.
Yeah, for me, it's only 3.
I think
We're
I can.
very
I think I
close
can
to
make that in one
Cleveland.
day. I think I
You're
can
gonna
make
do
it in one day.
Ah,
Actually, I think I may only have to fill up the van twice on the way out. I think I can get by with that. And then I'm gonna go fishing and avoid nonsense if I can. Actually, the lake that the Airbnb is like right on the lake is the largest natural lake in Ohio, which kind of has me excited. That's pretty cool.
Isn't it on a Great Lake?
No,
No.
I think it's Chippewa Lake.
Oh,
Ohio.
the house is not on the Great Lake.
No,
Okay,
house is
so-
on Small Lake.
Okay, understood.
Small.
Several 100-acre lake, but it's a natural lake, so it's not like dammed up or anything. It's a naturally formed lake. And I'm gonna see what's living in there and try and see if I can catch and eat it.
Dude, I bet we could get some crawfish out of there.
That's a good idea. I didn't even start looking for
don't wanna
housing
take
yet
time
for
of
GunCon.
crawfish out there.
That's a really actually GunCon last year's the last time we had a body of water. It was a man-made more of a pond, and we
Yeah.
didn't pull any fish out of it, but we got to shoot guns across and into it, and it
Yeah,
was
that
just
was
really
pretty
nice to have a little.
I feel like if you shoot
My
guns
boots
across
really
this one,
enjoyed
you're
that.
going to end up with the police called on you.
Yeah, no, I would not.
What,
0 of 10.
rifle fishing
just have Dooley answer the door. They'll be fine.
in his Camerado.
officer?
What's the problem?
In his Camerado, what do you hoochie shorts?
Oh, I thought you were going to say the beer delir.
Well, that too. To complete the ensemble.
Roden had another question.
Rodent, stop asking. Okay.
Who here has done ice fishing, and what are your thoughts? It seems very relaxing and fun.
It seems very cold.
I have done poor boy ice fishing, which was drag sled out onto lake, drill hole, fish. And my little brother got sun poisoning because we do not have a shelter. But the sun reflecting off the snow and the ice, I mean,
God.
fucking blisters.
Ooh,
Poor
Inch
dude.
and a half tall on his arms. Yeah, it was pretty wicked.
Hmm.
I mean, it's cool. You get to sit there with a itty bitty teeny tiny little fishing pole. But it was always a surprise whenever we drilled through the ice. It was like, oh, that's not thick. So, but no, I have never done it with a hut. That is I think the most popular way to do it because you got a little heater. You get, when you enclose your little ice hole, you can actually see down through the water. So you can see fish swimming below you. That's pretty cool. Get a little grill in there. Have some dude hook a chain to it and drag it across the lake. Get all pissed off. But yeah, so that's my thoughts on ice fishing.
yeah, you said ice hole.
Vince, a 1-year non-resident fishing license in Ohio is only $37.44.
I thought it was 50 something. 37.44 is a 3-day.
Non-resident 1-year license upgraded from a 1-day. Oh,
All right, we don't need to look
Oh
this up.
yeah, that's $14 plus. Okay, so $14 is 1 day, and if you upgrade it to a year, it's 37 extra.
oh,
We
gotcha.
don't need we don't need to price this out on there.
Sure we do.
Well, why
No, we
not?
don't.
Everybody
Let's
needs
get
to
better
know.
shit to talk about.
At least we're talking about.
The Colorado's big game draw ended tonight.
Yeah,
Mike,
that's
how much were your hair ties?
like $6.
You get
Yeah.
ripped off.
I'll send you some for your beard,
Thanks.
What Sam said.
and some. I'll send Bob some for his balls.
So if you're in Colorado and you're listening to this live, I'm sorry you missed the deadline by 2 hours. You're
Yes.
fucked.
But you have hope. Secondary
Secondary
draw
draw.
opens June 19th and then closes June 30th. So
Mhm.
if you miss this one, go ahead and put in for the secondary draw. Youth takes preference on secondary draw. So if you have kids that want to go hunt,
That's why I always
Put 'em
tell
in.
them I'm 14.
Yeah. Yeah.
Works every time.
All right, Bob. I've got an idea for an optic.
Oh no.
Oh no.
So you get.
I only had 2
A
lines of
rifle.
homework like 20 minutes ago, and now I got a
Does it speak
second page.
Japanese.
You shouldn't write this down. This is not a serious idea because
Yeah,
I'll
it
get
speaks
laughed at.
Japanese, I bet.
Okay,
Well, you
good.
never know.
It probably will. It's like those Japanese toilets. It can do everything. It's a flash optic. It's an optic with a flashlight. So you're out on your coyote hunt, and you're like, all right, I'm zoomed in at 25, but you got this like super concentrated 10,000 lumen light right next to your optic, and it's dialed at the same optical line as your scope is, and you're like, there he is, and you zap him with your super bright light, and then you got yourself a coyote light. Now it's only
Okay.
legal in certain states, but he's actually writing down the flash optic.
Please don't.
There's a reason nobody's done this.
optic.
Uh-huh.
And it's for killing animals, so you can call it a fleshlight.
Nothing's a bad idea.
No, there are definitely bad ideas.
Like they have the optics with the lasers on them.
I'm not saying anybody's going to make it, but
Thank
I mean,
God.
it's worth.
It's worth looking. I mean, China will build anything.
If nothing else, it'll reinforce my reinforce that I am the dumb pretty one around the shop, and no one can take my crown. And I'm like, hear me out.
And that way they won't
strap a flashlight.
No,
they
no,
won't
no.
ask anything too difficult of you.
If
'cause
you
like,
can't make-
he's retarded.
If you can't make the argument because you're too retarded, tell them to come on the show and we'll make the argument to them.
No. I got it. I'm going to try to think of some more sciencey words to try to look like I know what I'm saying.
Just say lumens a lot.
I
Really?
make sure to
Oh,
say something dumb once a week just so they don't ask me to do anything extra.
understood
need to
getting
make-
upgraded into any additional responsibilities.
We
I gotta
need to
say
make our
stuff like
scope.
this.
We need to make our scope project light. Fuck flashlights.
6 months
Still
from now,
have
we
light.
ask Bob, hey, Bob, you want to come back on our show? No,
is
they
light.
won't let me come on anymore.
So if I ever walked in and said anything that dumb again, I was fired. So sorry. I can't hang out with you anymore, Mike. I don't want
Like, hey,
You know
Mike,
what?
why don't you
That's
just take
fair.
a week off?
See, what you do is you just make the light powerful enough. And also, you can call it the Archimedes that you shine it on the coyote until it lights it on fire.
Damn.
We're getting better. I
Yeah.
like where we're heading. I'm gonna pitch them
Make
both
it
at the
deep.
same time. That's a really good
Wouldn't
idea.
it be like
when they just look at me like I got 3 heads?
At least
when
mine
I
is-
tell them about the
Mine
what
has
are we
a cool
calling it?
name. No.
Flash
Mine's-
optic.
That's his.
the flash optic?
No, this is the
Flash
Greek
optic.
fire.
Yeah,
Mine's the Archimedes. You can
I
call
know.
his.
I'm gonna follow it up with the Archimedes when the room
Okay.
falls silent and everybody just kind of stares slack jawed. We go, no, but seriously, hear me out. The Archimedes.
No, you lead with the Archimedes and then be like, so here's my serious proposal, the flash optic.
Okay. This is all fun and games, but it could be an excellent April Fool's for next year.
You could.
Okay,
Yes.
maybe make that note.
That's actually something you should write down.
We never know. Maybe we'll just make it. All right. First, I'll pitch it, and then if I'm not fired, I'll suggest it for April Fool's.
Just
next
pitch
year.
it tonight and then be like, ha 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 ha.
No, wait for them to try to fire you. Wait for them to say no and try to fire you before you're like, no, this was an idea for April Fool's next year. Calm down. We'll just have AI build it. It'll be fine.
I can just imagine the beta testing with the Archimedes, and it's just it lights the coyote on fire, but it doesn't kill it. So then it spreads the fire, and they're like, "Oh, that's not good."
Like, ooh, oh no. I'm just imagining the the post is a 5 to 25 that's just got light shining out of the objective lens.
Yeah, exactly.
Just massive flashlight.
The
It's an
flesh
illuminated
lock.
optic.
Flesh lock. Fantastic. Roden, before that scrolls off the screen, I forget. I live a little south of Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, but I've lived a lot of places before that. But that's where I'm from and where I currently am. Sorry, Roden comes up with such great things. I just want to make sure I
Roden
got him the
is an
answer
OG.
to a serious question. He's what?
An OG. He's a good dude.
He's got a very well-shaped head. He knows what that means.
He will
glad
ask you
somebody
all of
does.
these sincere questions in person too. It's fantastic, and then we have these deep conversations. And then his wife chewed my ass because I was smoking a cigarette and had a chew in at the same time, and I was like, "See, it kind of balances out." And she's like, "Don't do that."
And you just felt so much shame. You stopped.
I was like,
the spot. And you're like,
Oh,
oh,
he
shit.
vapes.
because she's a nurse. I'm like, oh no.
It's like, no, I just vape.
That's like barely.
do.
It's like a breath away from just taking it intravenously, like just carrying around a little John Travolta Pulp Fiction kit and just mainline
fine.
nicotine.
I was trying to confuse the cancer.
I quit smoking. Oh yeah? Do you go cold turkey or no intravenous?
But no, it was
Look, my fingers are going yellow.
it was a good.
I just
time.
snort
Roden's a good dude.
tobacco and coffee grounds.
Isn't there that stuff called snuff where that actually is like
Yeah, you snort
finely
snuff.
ground
Yeah,
and you
Had some
just
of that.
get tobacco leaves in your lungs, which is fine?
used to mix it with Spark, the pre-workout.
Jesus Christ.
Oh,
That was a rough deal, man.
that sounds awful.
But it was way more legal than cocaine.
For some reason, I'm imagining Dave like that Lord of War scene where the
Brown,
bartender
brown.
says he would do some brown. Yes,
Do the brown.
Dave's
Dave's asking,
stuff up
look.
on the floor.
Dave's falling asleep out there, glassing. He's like, wait a minute. I know what I got to do.
For some
Pop
reason,
up.
all I could think of is when my daughter was like 18 months old, she was eating spaghetti and choked on it a little bit and started coughing and did that for a while. And then the next day we were out eating we went out to eat with my mother. And while I was taking my son to the restroom, I came back and I looked down and there was a spaghetti noodle sitting there. And like, where'd that come from? And my wife's like, your daughter horked that out of her nose just a couple minutes ago. I was like, what? That was up there all night? And like, she's like, yep, came dangling out. And I was like, and she's been called the noodle ever since.
Hey, Noodle.
She's starting to not like it.
I don't blame her. Can you imagine telling that story at her wedding day? Like,
Oh, it's on the list.
I have a good one myself. It's not nearly as good as a noodle, but my daughter, her school got snowed in. My wife had to work, and I have to point out her school got snowed in for literally nothing. It was cold. It was 0 degrees. It's too cold. So we had no childcare last minute. She had to work. So I was like, you know what? Bring her to chicken store. She can sit in the booth. She can play in the play area. We can feed her. Like, it's a good place healthy place for her to hang out. It'll be fine. She's well behaved. It'll be fine. So we set her on a booth right next to the front counter, and I went on a delivery, came back, checked on her, went on another one, came back, and she had a Coke Zero. Like, she had a Coke in a cup. And I was like, where'd you get that? And she's like, I ordered it. And I was like, how did you order it? And she's like, I went to the front counter and I said, I would like a Coke Zero, please. And they gave me one. And I was like, how did you pay for it? And she said, I didn't.
That's coming out of your
She
pay
started
later.
running up a tab.
And I told her I was going to tell her that story at her wedding day. And she went, please don't.
Do you think that'll work for me if I go in there?
No.
Damn.
Like, yeah, can we run up a tab at a
Yeah.
chicken store?
Can I just get like a chicken biscuit, please? No. I'm Mike's friend. Put it on Mike's tab.
You're not an adorable curly-headed 7-year-old.
No, I'm an adorable 32-year-old balding man. It's even better.
You're some of those things.
Adorable,
It's
yes.
not.
Balding, only a little bit.
It's not a bald spot.
He's
It's
actually
a solar
41.
panel for a sex machine.
Well, he's got lots of kids, so it must be
Well,
working.
okay.
Just saying, because
So,
my
Bob's
eyes.
poor wife, then, if that's how that works. Is that why you keep it shaved? Because it's a solar panel for your sex machine?
yes, because when it grows longer, it looks way fucking worse.
Yeah, almost forgot I had hair until every year on my anniversary when I'm looking at pictures of us from whenever we got married. I'm like, oh,
Who's that
guy? Who's that young man with all that hair? My goodness. Yeah. I enjoy me.
I enjoy me too. All right.
What's your wife like better? Does she miss the hair, or is she? I hate that this is about to come out of my mouth. Does she like the smooth head?
Yeah, she likes it fine. She will not allow me to see what happens if I grow it out. So up here, there's still some follicles trying to put up a fight. And about once a year, I'm like, you know what? I'm just going to try for like 4 or 6 weeks. I'm like, let me just see. She's like, no.
You
it's
should
gonna
do.
look
You should.
ridiculous.
You should do the
No,
old
like, you
trailer
look-
park thing, bald up top, but just the sides.
The Homer Simpson.
That's
shoulder
probably
length.
how I think I'd have the little this headphone band is. That pretty much would stay. I'd be one of those. I'd have a
No, that's
little
perfect.
bit right
you put
here.
an orange you put an orange robe on, and people just think you're a monk. It'll be fine.
Does she
is
accuse you of doing a History Channel special about aliens? Like, no, you have to stop.
It's aliens.
I would rather have the one that goes like front to back instead of the one that starts like top of your head and then goes outward like a friar.
Oh, a tonsure.
And you keep like doing your hair at the front, like you have hair in the back to continue to do. and
Looks
you're
like
just
Home
like, "Ooh,
Alone."
ignoring my life. Oh yeah, the Home Alone. You're right.
Yeah, we guess the top of his head. What is that device that? Never mind. Too far
Never
off
mind.
topic.
We didn't have a topic.
For this show.
That's a problem.
Did we have a topic?
No, Bob's our topic.
No, we didn't
It's
have a
topic.
topic.
Hey, Bob.
Hi, Bob. How do you feel about 45 AARP, Bob?
He has gray in his beard. He loves it.
It's nice. No, I'm just kidding. I only own 2 handguns that use 45 ACP, and I've only bought 3 boxes of it in my entire life. There's nothing wrong with it. I'm just not interested.
I just own you. Because I am now a 45 AARP and purist
enthusiast.
Is it gun showing time?
It's part of his. It's part of his
gun-
personality.
It's gun
now.
showing time. Sorry, Montana Dirt Roads and all of YouTube. You all may be completely fucked in the presence of my H&K.
Bye
You all
bye.
may die now.
God, it's pretty.
I gotta sell me a couple guns now because I did something irresponsible.
Yeah.
See, the one you were trying to sell though, that just makes it okay. So you need to buy a 45 caliber suppressor now, and keep the 45-70 government lever action, so that you can have the matching and use the suppressor on both.
Well, considering I'm possibly about to sell my high cut helmet, and then maybe I will sell that M18 because you don't have a terrible idea there. Because I am going to have the 45 can, because this is a USP 45 tactical, which I have wanted a. I don't know how better to describe it than a 45 duty gun for a while. Not because I was obsessed with 45, but because some reason I did, and now that I have it, 9mm is for sissies and girls.
Dude, I love 45.
I would just sit there.
I started competing with 1911 shooting single stack.
Well, 1911s are for old men. It's the 90s now, son. Get caught up.
When you can outshoot me with that, then we'll talk.
Done.
Yeah, done.
I was just sitting here looking at he was talking about selling his 45-70 government, and it's like how much he was gonna sell it for. I'm like, dude, I'd pay that for it.
It's a Remington era. It's no great, fantastic piece.
Oh,
But
whatever.
I went and shot about 50 some rounds out of this yesterday just for kicks, and very repeatable hits at 50 and 2 for 2 at 75. Ooh.
So my question is the slide already cut, or are you going to have it cut?
No, that would be blasphemy.
You're not going to have it cut for a Gideon optic?
Nope.
And sights only.
Blasphemy.
No, not an HK.
Not an
Just leave
HK,
it
not a
USB
USP.
like this. No, there's a lot of things I would recommend cutting, but I won't even try to bully Samuel into that.
Nope,
Seem
that would-
a little blasphemous.
Yep, that would just be defacing. A work
Watch,
of
he's
art.
going to rattle can it, though.
No, I would not going to rattle can it.
No, you'll say that's some blasphemous shit and then do something ridiculous like that.
I'm not going to cut it. I'm not going to rattle can it. It is a fine piece of machinery, and
It really is, and I'm highly jelly. I'm not going to.
it was this or an FNX, and I had wanted an FNX
chose right.
tactical for a very long time, and then Shields had this sitting on the used rack, and it was only a little bit more than a used FNX. I was like, I have to
You
buy
chose
that
correct.
right now because I will never see one ever again.
I can't wait to.
And I know the
have-
world is obsessed with 9mm, and 9mm is just as good, and blah blah blah. And I don't care about your opinions.
Dude,
all I have
45's
to say.
awesome.
I like my gun to hit me a little bit harder.
Like your wife.
Oh, I did have a guy who I was chatting with, Signal chat yesterday. Go, oh yes, I too like to carry a handgun that has fewer rounds with more recoil and blah 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 blah. And then 20 minutes later, he's showing people, oh yeah, and this is my, I don't know, some small like micro frame revolver. And so I just
Like a
copied
Sig
and pasted-
938.
No, it was a revolver. So I just copied and pasted that I too like to carry blah 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 blah.
I should say I was not trying to. I feel like I was way too. I don't think
care.
derogatory is the word. I
You're-
don't
you're
hate.
fine.
I don't hate 45 ACP. I just doesn't interest me enough to expand
just-
what I own.
You're just not in love with it, and that's okay, Bob, because there are plenty of old men that are in love with 45 that will continue to make
Are you calling me
45
old?
irrelevant.
No, see, I was trying to
You know
say
how
there's
many
nothing
45
wrong
got-
with it.
He's calling me
No.
old.
I'm like,
I mean,
there's plenty of old men to keep 45 alive.
listen, let's be fair. Sam is a 60-year-old man in a 32-year-old body.
I'm older than that. Inside.
I have a 60-year-old body inside a 41-year-old body.
No,
I was thinking more.
I
like
don't think 41's quite right.
I was thinking more.
15,
You're like,
16.
yeah, that's beat me to it. I was gonna go for like a teenage year or two. For that's
Yeah.
how old you are inside.
I'm like a 17-year-old inside a 51-year-old's body. This is terrible.
Is that what that movie 13 Going on 30 was about?
No idea. But no,
but
it's
isn't it-
probably the softest shooting 45 I've ever shot.
Was Marlon
And
Brando
I
in that?
fell in love with it immediately. So
I think he was.
I Marlon Brand don't know.
That'd be okay. I'm sorry. That'd be hilarious. To the Matthew Perry, it's Marlon Brando.
You know what shoots softer than a 45?
9mm.
A 22.
22 short.
Pretty much
Yeah.
any 22.
Vincente?
Okay, I'm sitting here holding it.
I'm sure you are.
So I had a granite on the 22 for a while, and I actually like that. But I think I had a better idea.
Oh my god.
You had the best idea.
I've got Han Solo's blaster.
Dude.
Up there, Vince.
And I love that it's painted wrong too.
No, it's painted perfectly right for the rifle that's sitting behind me.
Yeah, that's what you
Right,
got
but
there,
wrong
Vince.
for the gun it's on.
Dave and I were messing around before the show, and I took the Guardian 1 to 10 and I put it on my Ruger Mark IV. And it looks like
It does
What's
look
the-
like a Star Wars gun.
Yeah.
It does.
And the funny thing is, if you have it on one power, you can actually see the reticle when you hold it out at arm's length.
It might
you could
actually
actually
be
aim
usable
with
as a pistol optic. You should
might
try
be,
it.
But if you, sorry, I just banged the mic. If you just hold it right here, it's still fine. Like you can see perfectly well through it. I might have to mess around with this just for like accuracy testing with the pistol on a bench just to see what it's capable of. But it's pretty dumb. I kind of love it.
It's
Good.
stupidly awesome.
I've,
It's the same kind of stupid awesome as an LPVO and a shotgun.
I love it. I love all of it.
I've actually messed with that optic a lot. I had it out thermal hunting. I had it on my crossbow. I killed a deer or two with it, just sitting on the rifle.
Wait, 1 or 2? There seems to be some confusion here.
Look, I don't remember.
Vince doesn't
okay?
know how to count.
It was
to
at
two.
least 1.
Oh, shut up. Look at Mr. Freaking Midwest over here bragging.
Hold
like,
on,
I
what
don't
did
know.
I
I may
do?
have killed 1 or 2 or 3 deer. I don't really
I'm trying to
remember.
remember what I did with it. What was that other one? Yes, it was 2. Okay, it was 2. There you go. I had to go dig through my memory bank.
Well, first, Montana Dirt Roads asked if anyone here shoots wheel guns. I shoot, well, my Schofield is eternally broken, but I've got 1873 single action Army, U-Birdie, and 45 Colt. I've shot the absolute piss out of that thing. Haven't shot it in a while, but, and then I shoot my 357, my GP100. That's
There
my
should be a
outdoors
brace
gun.
for these things.
My grandfather, when he passed away, we were going through his estate, and my dad's like, "Hey, you want this?" And I was like, "All right." Didn't know what it was. It's a Belgian leash. I have no idea when it was made. But it's from everything that I have gathered, it was made in the 20s most likely, and it's in a caliber that doesn't exist anymore.
Yeah.
Like I think it's called 320 revolver. Literally, is the caliber, and it's a black powder cartridge. So it's black powder rifle, not or black powder pistol, not firearm.
I've got a Heritage Rough Rider in 22. That's my snake gun that lives under the seat of my pickup.
I think
And
I
it works
sold my.
great.
I think I sold my last revolver in 2020.
I was
Yeah,
recently
I'm pretty sure
fondling
I
a single action Army, a U-Birdie, and I very much liked one. I like them. I would kind of like one now.
Yeah, but that one was in 357, and that's just
Yeah,
not
no,
cool.
got to be 45 Colt.
357 is not cool.
Things were weird, and I was consolidating cartridges and things of that nature for reloading purposes and all that. I had a Ruger Police Service 6, which is similar to the Security 6, except for the rear sight was just an integral notch in the top strap of the receiver, and it was a much more simplified 4 1/4 inch barrel revolver in 357 Magnum. And I actually really like that revolver. I kind of miss it. Very sleek little pistol.
That's pretty cool. Bob, do you have any neato revolvers?
What? No, I don't. I only own 2, and one of them I just got. I really got it or decided to buy it because I knew we were going to have a bunch of RMSC optics coming out, and I wanted something I didn't care about that I could just shove those on top of. This will be at at GunCon Range Day, right? I'm gonna do stuff like that. Just throw new optics on there and zero them up and play with them. I think both of mine are no. The other one is a Charter Arms 357 that's up in the bedroom, and then I just have this little 38 Special Taurus 856 Toro. Only got it because it had the easy in the box RMSC optic mounting option.
Nice.
So for doing the kind of things that I'm gonna do, yeah, it was perfect. I also really enjoyed it as a fidget spinner. I know I probably shouldn't be doing that, but like pulling the hammer partway back and roll it back and forth on my arm, or I do the thing you're not supposed to do where you open it up and you spin it and then slam it shut.
Oh, who cares?
That is entirely possible.
love
The
it.
reason I don't have any revolvers because I'd exactly be doing all that kind of shit.
Yeah,
all
and
day
you
long.
shouldn't be doing that. I mean, never finger on the trigger, but yeah, I really just
It's like that one scene in Boondock Saints.
the cat.
No, the one where it's right before the mob boss goes and kills Rocco. He's messing with like the 454 Casull revolver, and he's loading it, and he slams it over and shuts it that way that you're not supposed to.
Oh yeah.
Wonder how
It's
long
all
it'll take to
dramatic.
break. I got to write down when I got that and see when it breaks. But I won't know how many. When I measured that in miles, what if I barely ever shoot it? I just spin the cylinder and slam it shut over and over.
You in cycles, opening and closing cycles.
Just wonder what I'll tell Taurus when I eventually break it and try to send it in for warranty.
Yeah, man. I just did it once and it broke.
I have to imagine it would look exactly like those old cap guns that when they broke and the steel was split in weird ways. That's what a Taurus looks like broken. Other guns with quality steel, they look like quality steel broke, but Taurus looks like those shitty cap guns of our yore.
Pot metal.
Taurus probably
die-cast.
built those goddamn cap guns.
They
Probably
do
where
that
they
in their
started.
spare
You
time.
never know. No, I don't mind it. There's nothing wrong with it. That's the only Taurus I own. What did I own? I did have a G2 Millennium for a minute, and I hated that.
Those aren't great. The TX22 though, I recommend that.
I did get to shoot that. I forget at what event last year, but yeah, that was pretty sweet. I hear the G3 is better. There's people swearing at the G3 Millennium or whatever they're calling it.
For function, yes. For like a lot of even the reviews, they had like the sights break off, but those are just sights. That was before they actually moved. That was before they actually went with the Glock pattern rear sights. The rear sights that they originally had on them sometimes would just fly off. But the TX22, I actually recommend that. I have one, and I put thousands of rounds through it, and it just works.
My first carry gun was a Taurus PT-140, and that was the last Taurus I'll ever buy. Every time I fired it, the mag fell out. And I was like, is it me? I thought my thumb was near the mag release. So I held my thumbs like way away from it. It still happened. I was like, no, it ain't me. Something's wrong with this gun. So I took it back to the dude I bought it from. And I was like, this gun sucks. And I traded it for, I think, a Glock 27. Because
I have a
40 was
Millennium
in at the
G2,
time.
and it has feeding issues. And I'm pretty sure it's because the mag catch is in the wrong spot, and it doesn't sit up far enough into the firearm, and so it has feeding issues because of that.
Maybe that's why I hated it. I know I hated.
Sometimes it doesn't.
Oh, sorry. I know I hated loading the mags. I don't remember why. If the springs were super strong or the edges of the top of it felt sharp. Maybe it's just me having sissy hands, I guess. But
Maybe it's porque no los tres.
you know, I don't speak Spanish.
I don't either. I'm pretty sure I did that correctly, though.
What he said is it's all your fault.
That's a safe assumption.
It's like it seats up in there, but then you can push it up further. I don't know. It's weird. I don't like it. I want a 905, a Taurus 905, which is their little snubby 9mm revolver, just because I don't want to buy 38 special.
Valid.
5-shot revolver is like, but I wouldn't expect it to actually be good. I just want it.
I remember
Anyway.
you wanting to get a hold of one of those a couple months ago.
It's like on the list, but it's like way down the list.
Bob, what? When is the 5 to 25 coming out?
You're not supposed to ask him that question.
June.
Well, every time I ask him the question, the date
Our
gets
birthday
later,
month.
so-
Yeah. Quit asking him, and then the date won't move anymore.
I think I already told you. I swear, or maybe I just said this yesterday on Clover's show. It's last week or the
You
week
mentioned it.
before. I didn't realize
Mentioned it a while
the
ago.
reticle was still getting refined. Is really what
Oh,
we were
okay.
working on. And I don't.
Really?
At this point, I didn't get to see all of the more recent production prototypes, and no other things got changed. So somebody asked earlier about covered turrets. I don't know whether the turrets are exposed or covered. And I haven't even seen the final form of the reticle. It is going to be a relatively simple and mill is all I know.
Yes.
Mill MRAD, not MOA. Those are the only details I know for sure.
You just killed Dave.
Oh, I love it.
Good
I
year.
need it. MOA.
Commie fucking.
There will be an MOA version eventually, I guess. The
Eventually.
same 5 to
Just
25
learn
is.
centimeters, Dave. Come on.
But we had
No.
nothing that was allegedly mill or had adjustments in mills or MRAD. So that's
Look,
why the ER is doing that first.
Look, Dave.
I know.
It sound no. It
I've been teasing
sound-
Dave for so long, and now I just made the tease
All I'm
longer.
saying, Dave, is it looks longer if you count it in centimeters.
Bob, you make a lot of things longer.
Like
Are you still working on the?
if you tell her the number and you don't tell her if it's inches and centimeters,
Look, unless you're well, if you don't tell her, centimeters can sound scary. I'll just anyway.
Yeah, when 1 inch is 2.54 centimeters, and
No,
you tell her it's 2.54, she might get excited.
No, do you go 19 and it's like, oh,
Oh,
well, none of us are going that high. I mean, come on.
I know that mil is the popular one, but
if you have to go to centimeters to get to 7, that's unfortunate.
it's really hard to transition from one to the other.
I don't think it is actually. Once you learn mils is actually more intuitive than MOA, even if you think in inches. Because the only difference, so at 100 yards, the difference between MOA and mils, so it's 4 clicks for 1 MOA at 100 yards if you're doing like a quarter MOA, right? For mils, it is 3 clicks. It is 0.33 MOA, 1 click. So 0.1 mil equals 0.33333333 MOA at 100 yards. Okay. So that's all it is. It's 3 clicks versus 4 clicks, and you get to think in base 10 instead of trying to think in quarters, which once you start doing it is way simpler. And then if you transition in your mind to meters, then you get to, at 100 meters, 0.1 mils is a centimeter, and 1 mil is a decimeter, and on out to 1,000. I mean, and at 1,000, 1 mil is 1 meter. But even if you don't think in that way, 1 mil at 1,000 is still, or at 1 mil at 1,000 yards is still 1 yard. So it's not that far out there.
I get the concept, and I understand how the metric system is superior, but
wow,
because my rifle was made in
bored
Germany,
the hell out of Bob. Bob's like, I'm out of here.
Bored Bob to death. Like,
He's like, I'm gonna take a piss.
Yeah,
I think he's checking my math.
Fuck mils.
Roden says in the chat, and this
shut
is how I've used mils. Essentially, basically, you use the reticle and mils as a ruler. Put the reticle on the center, count how many mils you're off, and make adjustments. That's how I've used mils.
Yes,
that's math too.
Well, that's how you use MOA too. If you have just a base MOA reticle,
it is. But
like the difference between those two and then like a BDC, the BDC is like, that is 1 thumb wide. This is the king's thumb, and that is the measurement that we are using, and
and you're shooting at minute of man. Like, those BDCs aren't going to work to shoot pop cans.
I like BDC for fixed optics.
Power.
Yes, fixed power. Like, that is what it is set up for.
I like BDC for a specific load at a specific speed in a specific rifle. If you're going to just match all that up and push the easy button that way, that's what that's for. So like a 16-inch AR-15 with 55 grain ball ammo, and you're gonna have it second focal plane and just turn it all the way up whenever you're doing longer range stuff that's outside of your maximum point blank range. Like that's what the BDC's for.
I could see BDC being a very posh, very high-end reticle if you send in your fixed power scope with your rifle and your ammo you're going to shoot, and they build a reticle for you, and just like, boom, this is exactly what it is.
Except then that only works, even that will only work at 1 elevation.
Yeah.
Because
there's
you
a company that does that, isn't it?
You just
Why
have
do I-
different scopes for different states.
why do I
Loophole
think
does
they're
that.
in-
Loophole will make you a
Do they?
custom turret for your BDC
Oh,
reticle
the
turret spinny thingamajig that
yeah.
has, it doesn't have the actual adjustment. It has 100 yards and 200 yards
Mhm.
and 3 and 4 and 5 and 6 on it. So that you're not actually thinking in the measurements, you're thinking in the value of the distance. Whereas if you're looking at mils or MOA, you're thinking in the actual value of the adjustment, which is much more translatable to what you're trying to do. If you're doing different things, if you want to do more with the optic, is what I'm trying to say, I think.
Yeah. I think I kind of misuse my second focal plane BDC reticles because I just range it, get my data or my dope, and then I adjust the turrets, even if I got to take the fucking caps off. Just turrets. And then I'm just crosshairs. I do not use the BDC. So
I like making the oh, it's up that way, up that. I like doing holds. I like spinning too, but I like doing holds.
I like doing holes on first focal plane, not second.
Yeah, makes sense because the holds are off. If you're anywhere other than 1 or X or max.
Most of them are correct at max magnification.
Yes.
Well,
Okay.
Bob, did you see
What?
the Guardian on my 5.56 now has a second body on it? The first body was the dove that I shot, and now it has a beaver on it.
I did see that. Was that on the grams?
It was on the grams, yeah.
Yeah. Great job, man. Thank you.
Thank you. That
No,
thing.
Thank you.
Thank you.
No. Thank you.
His laptop's doing this.
That thing, yeah, it's leaving. The desk is cracking in half. I've got to go, guys. Crystal clear. Even at 40 yards, cranked it up to max zoom because why not? And put the reticle right behind the beaver's eye and bang.
Because taking the shot at halfway through at 4x was a bad idea.
Sure was. Because I missed the first one.
Dave, do you just get a little bit annoyed that Mike's 30
Missed.
minutes worth of beaver hunt has gotten more attention on Instagram than our all-night coyote nonsense?
Right? And you were in a Gideon all night.
Oh,
thought
those
you guys-
pictures
I only
look
had, like,
super
one
cool
comment.
though. So metal. I love those night photos. of
Bob,
those
if
things.
you want to come
Really,
out
those
and
are
shoot
cool.
coyotes at night sometime, we got to convince John Patton that he wants to do Gun Con in Dodge City next year.
Okay.
But
And I'll put that on my
Oh,
list too,
no.
right after I get Don Trump
Okay,
Jr.
so
on the
hear me
show.
out.
Yes.
There's the United Wireless Arena, which is where we could host Gun Con at. Right next door, I mean, in the same parking lot, there's a casino, and then there's a hotel. And the casino has the best prime rib I've ever had in my entire life, and it is $10.
It's almost
I
like
shit
it's
you
a
not.
loss leader. Joke's on them. I'm not there to gamble. I'm just here to eat prime rib.
Yeah, it's like I'll go run a penny slot. Yep, food.
It's prime time.
But no.
Yeah, the problem
And
is
then
you
we
gotta
could
fill-
go thermal hunt coyotes. Or well, we'll have to maybe we'll thermal hunt coyotes. They're getting laws pushed through, hopefully pushed through where they get thermal hunt all year, because right now it's just beginning of January
Oh,
to
see,
end of
it's
March.
perfect. Ty says they have permission to call ground north of the casino, 1 mile.
See?
Dude, casino, prime rib, and coyotes all in one night.
If you could get Don Jr. to go to Gun Con in 2026 in Dodge City, Iowa, Dodge City, Kansas, we could call it Gun Don.
See, this is why I think Mike should have a 7-second delay.
This is why we need a muffer.
It's like a buffer, but for Mike.
This is gonna be my
Fuck y'all.
funnest list of things that I probably don't accomplish, but I'm really excited to read over this again tomorrow and remember everything that occurred.
You'd
Just
be
kinda
like, God damn it, what
giggle
the
to
fuck were we
myself.
talking about?"
You're just gonna read it and be like, "What the hell is this?"
Right. Yeah. I'm gonna finish
Series
going
of
through it.
symbols.
Halfway through, I'll just
Carries
go,
no
well,
meaning.
I'm never going on that show again. That was terrible.
6 months later, I've got more yellow notebooks full of weird notes.
What's a muffer? Why do I have that written below Donald Trump Jr.
Yeah.
in GenCon 2026? $10 prime rib, night coyotes, Don Jr. muffer. I don't.
You're
Let's
just
see it.
naming show titles at this point. What
I think this
What are
is
we
a
doing
recipe
here?
to get investigated by the Secret Service. That's all this is.
Well, we'll probably get a hold of Don Jr. faster that way, maybe.
Yeah,
Once
we
you're on
would.
that list.
Yeah, like, hey, we're from the Secret Service. Hey, since you're here, can you get me in touch with Don Jr.? We want to have him on our show and talk about like gun rights and
Look-
hunting and stuff.
And $10 prime rib.
What's my
Holy-
crime? Eating prime rib, some succulent prime rib.
If you want to splurge,
Get your
the
hand off my
lobster
penis.
is $14.
If you want to what?
If you want to splurge, the lobster is $14.
Oh, surf and turf.
Ooh.
Yeah, we need to do this summer. This sounds amazing.
We're
Does the
no
casino
longer
have a
going to
hotel?
that.
Is it like a casino hotel you can stay in? 'Cause
There's
It seems like a good place to stay
the
in.
hotel is separate from the casino, but it also shares the same parking lot as the casino and the arena. It is one giant ass parking lot
This is a
with
great place
3
for
different
GunCon.
buildings on it.
No, I mean,
So we can also tailgate.
Logistically, it makes sense.
Dude,
You
we
had
could
me at
tailgate,
Muffer.
we could camp.
I'm not camping in the hotel parking lot. It's not happening. Gonna go stay in the fucking hotel.
Oh boy.
They might get a little mad at driving stakes into the asphalt.
No, it's gonna be like that stealth camping channel I sent you guys, where he camps in like road medians.
Gross.
We're gonna say goodnight to Vince as he runs off to go camp in a roundabout.
Yeah,
Gets
that's
creamed by a DUI that just straight over the roundabout.
No, I sleep in the van, so the
cool.
van's still moving. I just kind of wedge
it's
the
moving-
steering wheel into a left turn.
and it's just one constant circle.
No, the van's still moving because he parked it down by the river.
I can see Mike parking his Prado in a roundabout and then getting questioned why he drank so much of that night.
Dusky says, "Make the first family an offer they can't deny." Wow. Wait. Okay. Well, with that little bit of presidential threatening,
Bob, what's our coupon code for Gideon Optics? Because I know
Yeah, you can use the word moist at GideonOptics.com to get yourself 10% off and free shipping. That's MOIST.
And if you
Moist.
don't- and if you don't know what that means, ask your mom.
because she doesn't know either. She was married to your dad.
Oh, shut the fuck up. Oh my god.
Oh boy.
Wow.
See, that just
I love that all four of you made the same noise. That just
We
makes
need to
me so
hire a
happy.
muffer. Just somebody be like, hold the fuck up, Mike. Wait a minute. Think about what you're gonna say.
Do we have
Okay,
the
now say
budget? Do we have the budget for a conscience for Mike? I'm not sure we do.
nope.
No, I bet AI could do it.
I'm gonna program my Chat GTP to be Mike's conscience.
Make it listen to every episode we've done and then
ChatGPT
see if it
start
can give me a
charging you.
conscience.
No, then my Chat GTP needs therapy.
Chat GPT
My
killed
Chat
itself.
GTP will be listening to We Like Shooting to get the suicide hotline from the end of it.
All right. Sorry, Chat GPT, you can't dial a phone.
Camerado affiliate
Wah,
code.
wah.
Let's go hunt. Mike, outro before
Oh,
I
no.
kill you.
You'll have to catch me first. It won't be hard after Friday.
It wouldn't be hard
It's
right now.
me.
You can get even in your car. I could easily flatten you.
You
wasting your
time.
I am
No,
fat.
I'll just. No, it says I am not fast. It doesn't say I am fat, you dick.
It used to.
next year.
Dave actually got, last time I was down there, Dave actually got electrical tape and blocked out the.
Nope, I didn't.
It wasn't you?
That guy.
Well, Sam, you're a little bit smarter than I expected. Apologies for that.
I
But-
admitted it was me when I did it.
I forgot. I
Goldfish, man.
Goldfish, dude. Anyway, support the sport and take a buddy hunting. If you like that buddy, tell him about our show. If you don't, give him a high colonic. All right, sure, whatever that is. Hit us up at lghpodcast.com.
That's where you
Thanks for
shove a bunch
listening,
of
and let's
water up
go.
his ass till he needs to poop.
I thought that was a. Anyway, Bob, thanks so much for coming and joining us yet again and subjecting yourself to such humiliation and torture. I don't know why you would continue.
To be fair, you were most of the humiliation and torture.
That sounds about
Yeah.
right.
I usually am.